Hello, my name's Fraser Hines, also known as Jamie McCrimmon. You're listening to Mark Who 42.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to Mark 42. I'm your host, your host. Please put your headphones on to listen to our show. There's no turning back now. Hey everybody, don't worry, it's just me, Eduardo M. Freyre. We're here in Mark 42, and I'm joined by my special guest.
Zion Quiros.
Yep. It's just us today. Just me and Zion. Mark and Vicky are doing some other things, probably getting tons of Halloween candy for trick-or-treaters. But meanwhile, Zion and I, well, we're going to talk, we're going to have a very appropriate discussion. Zion, of course, you were the one who came up with the title for this episode. What is it?
Hiding behind the sofa.
There we go. For those of you who are not aware, there was a certain long-running sci-fi show of which Zion and I are huge fans. And while it's supposed to be a family show, there are a lot of moments in it that well, would require you to hide behind the couch because there's some scary stuff. So yeah, Doctor Who.
I've always wondered
Become
about that. Like, at least for me growing up, every sofa was like on a wall, so you couldn't really hide behind a sofa. So I kind of wonder like how was the layout of the common in the British household back then for this to actually be a thing.
Yeah, you know what? That hey, you're not alone. Um, I also have had sofas that have been like against the wall. I know the one I have at home right now actually is not stuck behind. There's actually it is up against the wall, but there's a little kind of space between
Yeah.
that something that I don't know if a human being can hide behind it, but I know that my pets do all the time.
Right.
All the time. So, I think it just depends on the layout of your house. I do know there was a place that I had during my during my teens and 20s. There was a house that my family lived in for like a decade, and how it was laid out, you could hide behind the couch.
Okay.
The couch that was behind the couch was like the entrance to the kitchen, so it wasn't up against the wall. So
All right.
there was a little bit of space. I think it's a layout issue.
Yeah, every house that I've seen, yeah, again, outside of maybe one house, every sofa is on the wall. So it just might be an across the pond thing. Who knows?
If you watch the British version of coupling, uh,
Hmm.
there is there is an entire monologue about buying a couch and also about how to hide behind the couch.
Oh
So
wow.
there is like an entire monologue based on that, and it is hilarious. They do, and proof that Stephen Moffat wanted Doctor Who even back then. The character with the monologue even mentions Daleks.
Oh wow.
So it was so yeah. Um, Hiding behind the couch. Yeah, I guess it's a British thing because I don't know. I think growing up I was never about hiding behind the couch. I think I was just hiding, period.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, you hide behind the couch for scary stuff. I don't know about you, but yeah, I've had a nice lifetime of scary stuff that would make me hide behind the couch or turn the TV off.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
you know, not just Doctor Who, but I would have to say I think I'll get it started. As far as Doctor Who, I think one of the nightmare fuely things that would probably get me behind the couch. Well, first of all, it would be the Terror of the Autons,
Mm-hmm.
that creepy doll thing. I mean, have you ever seen Terror of the Autons?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, the Master's first appearance, and we get the Ottens for a round two. But yeah, there's that creepy doll thing that comes to life and kills a couple of characters. I mean, okay, yeah, we're talking 70s motion. Just the look of the thing and the just the stop motion involved. I was just like, wow, okay, yeah, no, I'm done. Wow, that's just too freaky for me.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, and it's just and it shows like the power that good, some good stop motion animation, that even though this is even though common wisdom is that, oh well, this is just so cheesy animation. If I got CGI, but it's like, no, this didn't need CGI. It was just creepy. It was just totally creepy. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, man.
Yeah. And I am I don't know if this doll did it or not, but you had that effect in the 70s and 80s too, like whenever the eyes would glow, but it was
Hmm.
obviously a overlay of another like filter. So it just like laid upon the eyes, which made it look a lot more creepier than what it actually
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Um, so what's a Doctor Who behind the couch moment for you?
Um, mm, if I had to say one that Doctor Who doesn't really hasn't really scared me that much. But if I had to say the one thing that I had to say would actually like scare me was the first part of the Space Museum. Like
Mhm.
I yeah, I love museums. Like whenever I go to DC, I put apart whole days to go to the Smithsonian and see how they changed since the last time I went there. And
Yeah,
whenever I go to one of natural history, and you see the Neanderthals and the other humans and the other like stuffed animals, you're like,
yeah.
wow, you was once alive and here you are now for all eternity. How would you feel if you was alive and you just saw that? And then you get but like in terms of the Space Museum, you got to take it into the context of Ian and Barbara. You were a good citizen trying to make sure that a student of yours is not being taken advantage of by this old man. Somehow, in a way, you ended up across space and time, and now you want to get home. All, all to just find out you're stuffed in a museum for all eternity. Like
Okay.
the way that and like the way that the 60s black and whiteness and the creepy soundtrack that the Space Museum had, it just worked so well just to say this is not something that you want to be a part of. And it is such a shame that the rest of the story, to me at least, is bad. But the first that first cliffhanger of when they actually see themselves embalmed, it just sends chills down my spine. Like I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get home,
Mm,
and here I am in a space museum for the rest of time. Oh,
okay. Yeah. No, that is not a bad choice. Um, I can think of a two for one. And that would be, first off, transforming into one of the gas mask zombies in
ooh.
the Doctor dances and you know then the other thing I would say is, I think it's night terrors, those creepy wooden doll things.
Hmm.
I think with both, it's just the transformation sequences for both are just horrific. I mean, first of
Yeah,
all, the when we get that doctor, turning into the gas mask zombie, just the eyes looking out, the the breathing mask part coming out of his mouth, and just the whole forming. That is just that freaked me out the first time I saw it. I'm just like, holy cow, man! Dang,
body horror.
dang, you do not want me to sleep tonight. And then yeah, night terrors like the sequences where Amy transforms and the dad transforms. Just the sound, the sound of them transforming. That kind of creaky wood sound. It's just
Hmm.
ooh, 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 ooh. And actually, you know what? We'll even add. I think I'll even add like a third to that, and
Okay.
just the idea. Okay, the idea of becoming a Cyberman,
Oh yeah.
because it's like we've never really seen what goes into that. We've gotten hints of it, just the hint of it. The stuff coming down from the ceiling, hearing the scream and all the sparks flying. Um,
Yeah.
but I think the cherry on top, what absolutely sells it, has to be from that first two-parter from the new series that reintroduced the Cybermen, when Rose and alternate world Pete Tyler run into the cyber Jackie Tyler.
Hmm.
That is just, oh Lord. The fact that it's just this Cyberman calling themselves Jackie Tyler, and that it just ends up blending into all these, alike, uh, Cybermen. It's just it it adds a level that just goes, it just takes it further. It kicks things up a notch.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
the thing I could say. Yeah.
Yeah. The overall concept of the Cyberman is one that doesn't sit well with anyone. It's like I don't know how to put it. I think it has something to do with the overall human nature of not staying human. Like
Yeah.
the idea of being transformed into something that's not human. I think it's just a
Yeah. Well, and
innate
it's even
fear.
yeah, I think it's even worse, and it's even worse than because like the Cybermen, they've been compared to the Borg,
Hmm.
and there has been some the Borg definitely have some body horror going on. I
Oh yes.
mean, think of the montage in Star Trek First Contact,
Hmm.
where we see like members of the crew getting turned into Borg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's frightening, but we've had instances where people can regain their humanity and still function.
Yes.
The Cybermen, it's like everything's just stripped out. There's no there's no turning back. You can't, it can't be like some sort of the cutest thing where, if somebody gets turned to the Cybermen, they can be rescued and, get their humanity back. It's like, no, there's no, it's a one-way trip. And I think that's even scarier.
Right. And also the fact that they look nothing like the race that they once were. Like whenever the Simons show up, the doctor usually has to tell them that was someone on your planet. And then they're like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
They want us to be like that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, and like personally, I personally think the Simon in certain ways are worse than the Borg. Because like the Borg, at least to a certain point, were focused on the whole enchilada. But if it's a Cyberman, he'll say, okay, I'll take you and you and you and you and you and you and keep on going until he stopped. And like it is like roaches. Once you get one and three and five, eventually you lose the whole house. So like yeah, like
Yeah.
the Cybermen, the I want to ask you a question. What are the 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 creepiest version of the Siren to you?
Oh man. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good question. I would probably say I don't know. Like, I think to me, ooh, ooh, um, I think the originals, the ones from like
Mm-hmm.
Tomb of the Cybermen,
Yep.
who then got reintroduced, in that final 12th Doctor story. They're creepy. Uh, there's a certain level of creepiness with the Cybus, the Cybus versions,
Mm-hmm.
especially, and I think just to me, it's like the whole fact that, yeah, there's this sort of loss of identity. I mean, I think like the old school Cybermen. There's like a line in there was a line I think the master told the bots that, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
everything gets, whatever's not being used is just discarded, and it's just that's
Yeah.
just horrifying to think about.
Yeah. You know, I completely forgot about that episode up until now. Like the for me, the overall creepiest version of the Siren is the Tomb of the Siren, mostly because of
Yeah.
their voice and like just how just sterile they sound. That's not a human, that's a robot, but it's actually a person inside of it, or was a person. But like
Yeah.
in that two part, it was called World Enough in Time, and I think the Doctor Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole episode or that one part where Bill is walking through the hall, and you have the patients that are about to be converted to firemen, and like there's that one that's sitting there, and she turns up the knob, and he's just saying pain, 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 and just
Yes.
turns it off.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. That is just like, oh my Lord. Yeah. That was, oof. Yeah. You can tell. Yeah. There was just some, oh yeah, that was just, oof. Oof. But of course, that the Cyberman would probably be like, oh, you will not be in pain for long. And it's
Yeah,
like, okay, that doesn't make
help
me
me.
feel better here. Not feeling better.
You know what's one
Lordy.
thing that didn't have me certain say behind the couch, but rather not sleeping at all? The xenomorph. I used to
Okay.
have a true fear of that stinking thing because one day my mom, it's hilarious for the most part of my life, 99.9% of my life, my mom was a very coddled person towards the things that I used to watch. She had trouble with me watching Dragon Ball Z. That's how far it would be. But there came
Oh,
weird
okay. And
parts
and and it's funny.
and
It's
instances.
funny you should. It's funny you should mention DBZ because that'll be. I do have something later on for our list that yeah.
Oh, really?
But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now she had these pockets of abnormality, and so one day she said, "Let's watch a movie." And this movie was Aliens. Now, no, I never knew about this thing's existence up until this point. But of course, I watched the movie full and all. Game over, man. Game over. And I remember saying thank you because I will never sleep ever again the rest of my life. And she laughed. But oh my goodness, like once you take into like we're going to erase the fact that this thing was made by H.R. Geiger, aka the scariest artist to ever live. Just let's take this thing into effect. A pitch black 10-foot monster with acid for blood kills you with his second mouth through a headshot. how are you supposed to stop this thing? Now, given it doesn't exist, but in the context of like you're like what this your 8-year-old mind, it it might as well be under your bed because it's there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
actually, and actually, I can do you one better because I mean, yeah, you got the weird little second mouth, right? Which is bad enough.
hmm
The fact that, how do we get more of those things? Oh, because they lay eggs in you.
exactly,
And it's like, here's the thing.
exactly.
Oh yeah, no, and it adds, yeah, like just this element because, here it is, you could be sleeping in your bed, or you could just be chill, you could just be like taking a nap on the couch, and then this thing could just crawl up, attach itself to your face, and then you're basically doomed. You got this little alien baby gestating in you that's gonna just rip out of your stomach. It's like that to me, it's like I'm not, my fear is not the little second mouth, uh, you know, obliterating you in the face as it kills you. No, my fear is the thing of, just having a face hugger attached to your face, and it can happen like at any time. So it's like you can't even relax.
Exactly.
That to me is the one of, okay, yeah, nope, I need the couch. I need to
Yeah,
hide behind the couch with a flamethrower, and
I've had multiple dreams of that thing, and I still
yeah.
to this day marvel at exactly how terrifying the concept of that thing is.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to H.R. Geiger for making
Geiger
that thing
and
because
Ridley
oh my
Scott,
goodness.
Geiger and Ridley Scott for
Yeah,
creating such a unique menace. I mean, I can't think of anything that would be like, that would even freaking like, yeah, I can't even think of anything that would be like, that would just compare.
is
Definitely not.
it is
I mean,
it it is a scariness is only matched by its hostility.
oh yeah, because that thing, it's not. Yeah, no, definitely, it's not. It's not like it's not like a sorry, bud. Oh, didn't mean to lay something in your chest. Sorry, man. No, it's just it's making time. Just hold still. Hold
I
still. Think
see
about it. It'll
you.
be like a Halloween mask.
y-
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely
Yeah.
not a not a definitely not ET. Not ET at all.
It's
Um,
definitely not Star Wars.
what?
It is definitely not Star Wars. That was one thing that I remember thinking. I was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
so okay, so it's a space movie. Okay, so it's like Star Wars. Cool. No, 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 no.
No, nope. Definitely not Star Wars. Oh man, yeah, I don't. I could see if it did get into the Star Wars universe, I could see a lot of yeah, we're gonna have a lot of stormtroopers. We're gonna have a lot of dead stormtroopers.
Oh my goodness.
Most definitely.
Speaking of which, and then when AVP came out, we went to go see that. And then now I'm like, oh my God, now they're on Earth. Oh my God, now they're actually here. Why did you
Yeah.
have to show
Well,
me this?
yeah, no. I think as far as AVP, there are enough issues with that it did tone down the nightmare fuel a little bit. Uh, and on that happy note, we do have to go to commercial. Okay. But we will be back. We will be talking more nightmare fuel. So, take this time to go get yourself a snack, go to the restroom, and if there's anything that you need to try and get through the rest of this episode, yeah, go get it now because we're not done with the nightmare fuel. Oh no, we are not done by a long shot. Okay.
Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Mark Who 42 after this. Ah, brave new world that has such putzes in it.
The Pull Bag is GCRN's comic book review and discussion-based podcast. Join me, your host, TFG and Mike, and the rest of the GCRN crew as we make our way through the comics we are reading. Inside the Pull Bag, you'll also find back-issue classics and origins episodes of how we got into comic reading. You can find the Pull Bag every Wednesday on iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com. Make your great escape into comics and jump into the Pull Bag today.
Oh yes, but think of the fun.
You are listening to Mark Who 42's Universe.
Back, foolish mortals. In Mark Who 42, where our discussion, we're talking nightmare fuel, or as we're so lovingly put it, stuff that makes you hide behind the couch. I'm Eduardo M here with Zion Quiros. We talked some Doctor Who stuff that made us, that freaked us out. We also mentioned the xenomorphs, which, yeah, that's freaky too. But you know what? Let's keep the ball rolling, as far as that. I'm gonna slip into Disney for a second.
Ooh.
So something that really frightened me as a child, so badly actually that it took me decades to rewatch the film, and I had to do it. Trish actually had to watch it with me. Are you familiar with the film Darby O'Gill and the Little People?
No, I am not.
Okay, so this was made like in the, I think, late 50s, early 60s. It's about a farmer who ends up finding the land of the leprechauns. Now, on the good news front, the film does have a pre-Bond appearance by Sean Connery, and we get to hear him. We get to hear him sing. So there's that. The bad news, though, the part that made me hide behind the couch. So, given that this is, leprechauns, Irish, leprechauns and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually deals with banshees. We do have, a part of the plot does involve the banshee showing up, and that thing freaked me out. Like as a kid, just the way it wailed, the special effects. I mean, yeah, we are talking, it's cheesy old special effects. Just the presentation freaked me out.
Ooh,
Like
yeah, I am
it
looking at it right now. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, what you're looking at, you brought it up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, just you're just looking at pictures, right?
Yeah.
Imagine seeing that on screen. It totally freaked me out. I saw it like when I was in fourth grade, and it got me. I was just for decades. I could not. And finally, one time when while we were still in the dating phase, Patricia came to visit, and she was like, "Yeah, let's watch it." And she watched it with me, and finally, I can watch it without being too freaked out. It's still just so freaky, and it's like there's a moment where you get like this full on close up shot of Itchy's face, and it's just like, no, back up, lady. And then it gets worse because there's one scene where it gets followed up by what the film calls the death coach. It's it's basically this little carriage that comes to spirit off souls into the afterlife. And again, basically the same kind of special effects, except this time, what do we add to it? Oh yeah, the guy who's like, handling the coach.
Hmm.
There's no head. So you got a headless guy riding this coach going, all right, guess what? Time's up. Get in.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
just it's like, whoa, no, no, no. Why did we have to kick it up a notch like that? Why? No.
I
Yo
might
no
actually
quiero.
have I might actually have to watch this because the the Banshee looks interesting. Like it looks like a Scooby-Doo monster brought to life.
Yeah, that's actually there's even a couple of I know there's a couple of Scooby-Doo uh ghosts that did
Hmm.
freak me out as a kid. I think
Which one?
oh geez. Well, I know the one that was like what was the one that was kind of like a stereotypical ghost, with like the white sheet and stuff.
Hmm.
Um the miner, not child, is it not child though, is it person who works in a mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of freaked me out. And then so did the one in the diving suit, with like the diving ball head.
Yes.
That one kind of freaked me out. Um, I mean, but those, it's like as you got older, it's like, yeah, I mean, those like I quickly got over it. I
Yeah.
quickly got
Um,
over it, and I'm fine.
there was
Um,
one. Um,
okay.
um, it was. I think he had a blue suit on, and like he laughed like like a red face.
Hmm.
I don't remember what his name was, but it's one of the original
Oh.
Scooby-Doo monsters, and like he's like in like a spacesuit or something. But like he was a
Oh,
blue and he had like a red face. And he was laughing.
oh, he had like a red. There was like a red skull face. It was like a spacesuit. There was
Yes.
like a
Mm-hmm.
red skull face in the middle. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I know the one you're talking about.
That
Oh
thing
yeah, that is
terrified me.
definitely.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, that is definitely. Yeah, that one's oh yeah, that one's a nightmare fuel one. That one definitely gets on the list. Oh yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. I know the one you're talking, the spaceman. Yeah, and actually, oh my God, are you familiar with the show Venture Brothers?
Yes.
Okay, there's an episode. I want to say there's an episode. It's season one. It's called Ghost Pirates of the Sargasso.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a genuine spaceman monster in that one. And that is just because like the Ghost Pirates, it ends up being like a Scooby-Doo thing, where it's like, yeah, it's like, it's real people sending Ghost Pirates, but there's like a
Right.
ghost astronaut type of thing that shows up. And that like if I was a kid, that would be
Mm-hmm.
freaking me out. Like, I don't
Okay.
want to spoil it for you, but it is, yeah,
I
it's
will
freaky.
definitely look for it.
It's freaky. But hey, you do get, on the plus side, Venture Brothers is kind of a comedic show. So I mean, it's scary, but not too bad.
It's funny. Yeah.
And then plus, hey, you get references to David Bowie. So
Ah,
in this
okay.
particular case, yeah, ground control to Major Tom. So makes
Are
things a
you
little better.
yeah.
Tiny bit though.
Are you familiar with Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yes.
Oh
Yes, I
my
am familiar
goodness.
with Courage.
Back then, on at least what I consider the golden age of Cartoon Network, that there were shows on there that were funny, and there were some bits that were scary. That show was funny and scary. but like it was on like a different level of scary. Like I don't know how to put it. Like you had goosebumps from the 90s that actually tried to scare
remember.
you, and
Oh, okay.
we should actually talk about that later too. But Courage, it was just weird, scary. But like out of everything in that show, there were two things that actually scared me. Um, there was this one episode with this giant head with blacked out eyes. And I never got to actually watch the episode fully. I still don't know what it was, but it had to do with something about like a farming spirit or something. But it was in the first season and they had it in the intro. And so whenever that episode would come on, I'd immediately switch the channel to Nickelodeon, watch SpongeBob. I'm enjoying this day. But each way, it was just a giant head with blacked out eyes. I wish I knew his name so that you could look it up. But I'm almost certain that if you go on Google and you search up floating head courage, you'll see it. And that thing, I'm almost certain is the scariest thing I've ever encountered in my childhood, and I never watched it, still to this day. And I may watch it just eventually to figure it out, but oh my god, that thing was the most scariest thing I have seen in my life back then. I That thing was paralyzing. But then there was another episode, one that I could actually watch, and it
Oh,
was
holy
called
cow. Whoa. Okay. Whoa,
yeah,
I just looked it up. What the
ex
heck? What in the
exactly.
world?
Why is
Oh,
that thing?
Jesus. Oh, good God. This is like, oh man, I'm thinking, oh geez. The, this is like the freaking Grim Reaper from like the Seventh Seal or something. What in the world, man? This is a kid's show.
Exactly. That's
This is
what
a
I would
freaking
question.
kid's show.
Why is that thing on a kids show? I don't get it.
What the what, man?
And yeah, I've never watched it. That thing, as
What
soon
the
as I saw that face,
devil?
I said I will never watch that episode. As a kid,
Oh,
I made sure I will never watch it because I'll never sleep.
oh, wow. What? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
good,
Still
good
true
Lord.
to this
Oh,
day, that is one of the more scarier things that I've seen on children's programming.
jeez Louise. Actually, okay, wait. Oh, I got another good one for you.
Yeah.
I got another good one for you, man. Um, and this one actually comes from an episode of G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
There's an episode of G.I. Joe, from the first season called The Phantom Brigade. And, Cobra Commander basically hires a gypsy woman to create a ghost army for him. Okay, she uses these three objects, and there are three spirits that get bound to, to Cobra Commander's service from from the earthly objects. The ghosts
Right.
themselves are not that bad. Um, there is kind of a freaky part where one of the ghosts is a Roman centurion, and his ghostly hand comes out of the ground. But that's
Hmm.
like 2 seconds, and that's not that scary.
Right.
Um, but what really takes the cake is that at the end of the episode, so the ghosts are convinced to help the Joes. And they help the Joes storm, Cobra Commander's headquarters. The commander is running for his life because, the ghosts are now like, hey, give us back our stuff. Cobra Commander's basically like, turning his pants yellow. But
Hmm.
where the nightmare fuel part comes in is at one point he's in a corridor. There's a skeleton just like on the floor. The
Uh-huh.
skeleton comes to life, demanding the
Oh.
commander bring the objects back. And he even, well, it's not out and out stated. He implies that, yeah, commander's probably going to be damned, once he dies.
Oh my
Like he goes,
goodness.
one day you'll meet your fate, and we'll be there waiting for you. And it's just, the commander freaks out and
Oh my
like throws the
goodness.
objects on the ground and like runs off. two of the Joes see what happened and they're like, what the hell? What the heck did we just watch? And I'm just like, yeah, no, I feel the same way. It's like, dang,
Oh my
dang,
goodness.
man. Holy, holy cow. Halloween from G.I. Joe. Ugh, good
Yeah,
grief.
that's funny. That's crazy. I am looking at it now. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never watched
Yeah,
G.I. Joe really, but that's
yeah, no,
interesting.
you have to go, like, see if you can find it on YouTube. Just, type in G.I. Joe Phantom Brigade and watch it. It was just, it was freaky. It was just like, it has, that part itself is freaky. Um, I think what probably redeems it is at the end of the episode, the Joes bury, the objects so that the ghosts can, move on to the next
Hmm.
life. And we see that, one of the ghosts was a World War I fighter pilot. And, one of the Joes looks up in the sky and can see the fighter pilot's plane. And it looks like the pilot has reunited with his lost love. So it's like, okay,
Oh,
happy ending.
nice,
All right,
nice.
happy ending. That's good. It makes me feel a little better after, Skeleton Man is like, it's the objects. Ugh. But I think the next thing. Have you ever watched anything from Don Bluth?
Don Blue?
Don Bluth.
No.
Okay, he did the movie An American Tail. He did Secret of Nim. He did a bunch of movies like in the 80s and 90s. Essentially, if you wanted, 80s and 90s, if you wanted animation that could rival the Mouse House,
Hmm.
then you went with Don Bluth. Like
Okay.
he could actually rival the Mouse House as far as like, animation's concerned. But man, was he like nightmare fuel. The Secret of Nim, there is a sequence where the main character goes to find something called the Great Owl.
Hmm.
And that is just, oh man, the owl's like this huge thing. Um, he's got these glowing eyes. There's one point where he turns his neck, and it's just you hear like stuff creaking, and you have like cobwebs just flying off. Um, the other thing the other thing is, yeah, there's like a sequence where main character again goes to find the what are called the Rats of Nim, and she runs into a guard at the gate. It's just that's just frightening too. But
Hmm.
if we want, for me, I think the cherry on top as far as Don Bluth Nightmare Fuel, it would have to be um it would have to be uh All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. All Dogs Go to Heaven, Doggy Satan.
Doggy Satan.
Doggy Satan. So basically Satan, but in dog form. Okay, he shows up. This character shows up twice in the film. The first time was a nightmare that the main character has about going to hell. Not only is the main character is on like a little boat in like a river of like lava and fire, and then Doggy Satan shows up, towering over him. And then at one point he breathes fire and turns into little Satan puppies, and the puppies start like biting and like tearing at the main character, and it's just like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
oh, geez. It's like I remember I saw that with my big brother and my little sister, and my little sister got traumatized. Like she was crying, and
Oh my
I can't say I
goodness.
blame her. I can't say I blame her, man. That was just, oh lordy. I mean, that is just I don't even I can't even, man. It was freakish, and there was like another thing where like again, the main character has a vision of Doggy Satan, and he just kind of shows up like towering over the city or town where this takes place, and it was just like the skies turn red. It's just, oh man. Ugh.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Oh man.
Interesting. I've never seen this film, but yeah, I've always heard about it.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
No, yeah, yeah. There's a yeah, no, you definitely you gotta check out Don Bluth's catalog, man. I mean, it's gorgeous animation. Gorgeous animation, but this guy ain't, this yeah, no, he brings it as far as Nightmare Fuel. Like he
Right.
he definitely brings it. No doubt about it. You know what? As far as Nightmare Fuel is concerned, I just realized, you know what, we probably should mention, something that could be a big source of nightmare fuel. And that is, you of course are familiar with the various iterations of the Twilight Zone, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. See that there you go. Talk about nightmare fuel. I mean, there you go. Like
Oh my
what
goodness.
like okay, for
Nightmare
you,
Fuel
for
is
you,
big.
name like yeah.
There was one episode. It was the episode where the
Was it with the doll?
no. It was the chick that was driving, and she kept seeing the guy. She kept going my way, and it was the hitchhiker. And she kept driving, and she kept seeing the same guy. Keep saying the same guy, and then she just accepted that she died at the beginning of the episode, and like he was like the Grim Reaper, and like just trying to have her accept that she's dead, and now it's time to go to the afterlife. So she eventually stops and picks him up, and then the episode ends, and I'm like, oh my god, she's been dead the entire time. Like if there's ever a nightmare scenario, it is that.
Oh, and is this one of the older episodes from
I
like
believe,
the?
yeah, it's one of the ones from the 50s.
Okay, so all I gotta say is Sixth Sense, eat your heart out.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah. Although I'm gonna take a wild guess and say you're familiar with the twist.
Yeah,
Okay,
sadly.
all right. Well then,
That
yeah, that's good.
that Yeah, like when it comes to movies, if I know something, I definitely won't watch it. If the whole thing is based off the payoff, like Fight Club, I know the end of Fight Club, so I don't think a Fight Club is going to hit the same way if I didn't know what Fight Club was.
You know what? I can't say that. I can safely say though, yeah, I did know about that twist, but fortunately, it did land, it did land very well though, because
Okay.
there are certain twists that I knew about going in, and I was just like, oh, okay, I still enjoyed it because even though I knew the twist was coming,
Mm-hmm.
I, I was still able to enjoy it because because I knew, because it gave me, you can watch it and then see like little hints about the twist that you don't notice the first time around.
Yeah.
So you're finding this little particular treasure, and you're like, oh yeah. But I'm surprised. I don't. Was it Twilight Zone that had the talking doll episode?
I think so. Yes.
The I'm talking Tina and I love you. Yeah,
Yes.
that. Creepy dolls.
Oh my.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, no, not gonna do the creep doll thing. No, 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 no,
You
no.
know,
I'm good.
since we're on this and we have a lot of time, I feel like this is a perfect combination of things. I want to talk about the Tower of Terror.
Provide?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
the Tower of Terror. That was my introduction to the Twilight Zone. I did not know anything
Oh.
about the Twilight. Yeah, I knew nothing about the Twilight Zone. And then
Oh.
when one day I went to Hollywood Studios with my mom, and that's the first time I've ever went And I went on and I was like, holy crap, I need to watch this. And as this thing's going up and down, like, wow, I need to watch this. This is actually something down my avenue. And I went on it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, wow, this thing's creepy as heck. I need to watch this. This is
Oh,
awesome.
jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. See, well, hey, I mean, that's great that, the Disney ride actually like opened your eyes and had you going, wait, hold on, I need to check this out. We got some, we got like a classic, classic TV that I need to check out. That's great. Oh, something, I don't know if this would be like a source of nightmare fuel for you or not,
Mm-hmm.
but have you ever heard of the Phantom Manor?
No.
Okay, Phantom Manor is the Disneyland Paris version of the Haunted Mansion. And
Okay.
it actually has like a story woven around it because it's about like this ghost called the Phantom and this bride whose wedding day was like ruined by like the Phantom in an earthquake. But the Phantom, first of all, the Phantom's laugh is the iconic laugh of Vincent Price.
Ah.
Okay, and then there's a point. See, it doesn't. The ride doesn't end with the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you go through like a literal ghost town. But part that feels like could be nightmare fuel for some is after you leave like that bride's version of the attic scene, you're out in a courtyard. There's an open grave, and the Phantom is like laughing and pointing at it and like, "Come on in," And it's like I'm
Wow.
like, "Whoa!" And then it's like you go into it. Your buggy goes into it, and then you're heading. You're like under. You're underground, and all these coffins are opening up, and all the skeletons and stuff are coming out of it.
Oh, wow.
I saw a video of this, and it looks incredible, and it also looks so freaky that I'm like,
That sounds
wow,
awesome.
just wow. Yeah, you have to like, if you can't get to Paris, I mean, definitely like look it up on YouTube, find a high quality video. Oh geez, and well, Zion,
Yes.
I think we've actually reached a nightmare point.
Oh, no.
We have reached a nightmare point, and that's we are out of time. We are out of time. Unfortunately, because Lord knows there are so many bits of nightmare fuel that we can mention. We didn't get to mention Large Marge in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
The song "Worthless" in Brave Little Toaster. I mean, there's just we could do like, I don't know, a series of episodes just
Judgment Day.
running through different what? Which one?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. There you go. There you go. A little nightmare. But yeah, no, we're gonna have to like just sign off, unfortunately. But from all of us here at Mark 42, have a very happy Halloween. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Mark 42's Universe, featuring Mark Baumgarten, Eduardo M. Freyre, Vicky Jakubowski, and Zion Quiros. This show was produced and directed by Mark Baumgarten. If you'd like to get in touch with us, go to our Facebook page or email us at markwho42s.universe@gmail.com. Our radio show airs weekly on Subspace Radio Network at www.subspace.radio and on iHeartRadio. You can listen to our old shows at our website, markwho42.com, and many podcast platforms such as iTunes, Audible, and Pandora. And if you want to hear shows dating back to 2012 with over 150 celebrity interviews, try our YouTube page, Mark Who 42. Mark Who 42's Universe, copyrighted 2023.